Hi, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining. I know we had kind of an impromptu live stream today, and I'm just hanging out. I'm in my seed starting area and getting a bunch of seeds going and taking care of them, watering, thinning them down, and all that. And I figured I'd go live and hang out with you guys for a little bit and yeah, see how you guys are all doing. So hop in the chat. Hi, nice to see you. Yeah. We are, oh man, it is, it's a nice warm day today. I wish I could be doing this from outside, but I was worried about how the internet would handle me streaming from outside. But it is a beautiful day out here. I'm in zone 7 in Oklahoma City, and the weather is just absolutely gorgeous right now. So after this, I'm definitely, hopefully, be done here in the garage in my seed starting area, and then I will hop over outside here in a little bit. So welcome everybody. And if you guys do have any questions at all, please pop them in the chat. We're just gonna be hanging around and chatting about gardening stuff. But I figured I'd kind of walk you around here a little bit if my camera will allow it, hopefully, fingers crossed. But I wanted to show you guys a little bit of what is going on. So here, let me show you around our indoor seed starting area here. Um, so here, let me take everything with me so I can see what you're seeing here. Sorry if I'm a little jumpy. Okay. Whee! Here we go. Maybe. Okay. Yeah, it's difficult to walk with this camera, and I have my because it's separated from my computer. Okay. I have a bunch of chickens right down here. It's exciting. They're hanging out right there. Say hi, everybody. They make thinning down so much better. So I was actually up here thinning down some seedlings, and I was just chopping them off, and then I was throwing them down to the chickens. Makes it great. Okay, so I have a whole bunch of stuff going up here, getting ready to go out here. Actually, I mean, things are going to be going out very soon here because hopefully we had our last frost here in zone 7. Maybe, maybe not. But um, I have a bunch of flowers. I have some marigolds and nasturtium and calendula and all that growing over here underneath some grow lights. So, well, I say grow lights, but these are really just LED shop lights that we have rigged up right here. They are attached to these pulleys right here, which makes adjusting them so easy. So that way we can lower them and have them be the right height for right here. So that way I don't have to be messing with any sizes or anything like that, or doing like stacking. I moved these the other day, but I had like a bunch of plants right there because I had to like stack them to make them closer to the lights. But so I definitely like this setup a whole lot better. It's way better. But anyways, I have all of this going. I have a bunch of some basil, and I have some warm season stuff going down here, which is like some tomatoes and peppers and all of that. It's really exciting because I am growing a bunch of different varieties of everything, I feel like. So it's pretty great. Teresa says, "Do you have any black-eyed Susans in your garden this year?" Well, I have a bunch of marigolds that I'm going to be going out, but I don't have any black-eyed Susans. Actually, let me take that back. I actually do have a couple of them started. I forgot about that. They're in my inside setup, though. I need to get those ones out. I have a smaller setup inside that I grow with that I, yeah, it's different than out here. Out here is definitely extreme. I have a lot going on, but I'm loving it. Oh, I love it. Yes. Yeah. Ooh, smart pot. Yes. I grow a lot of things in smart pots. So I have these actually little tiny 1 gallon smart pots right now growing. I have these. These are all little 1 gallon smart pots. I'm growing almost kind of like basil microgreens right now. I have like basil, then I have some chives and cilantro, things like that kind of going on. So it's almost like our kitchen right here that we have. And then what I do is I actually grow a lot of these kitchen mini varieties. So in this tiny smart pot, I actually grow a little 1 gallon tomato and pepper and all that. And I grow those inside. It's really awesome. I love it. Let's see. I noticed cats were on a list of pets. So I took a picture of my cat and asked Robot what type of pest was in the picture. Robot said, "This isn't a pest, it's a cat." I love it. I love it. Yeah. You know what? I do feel like cats aren't necessarily, I don't know. They are have good and bad because they can definitely help with a lot of like rodent control and things like that. But I mean, the obvious, they use their you do a litter box for them because you don't want them going in your gardens or anything like that for sure. But anyways, yeah, I'm always adding in new pests and stuff into the app, but I can adjust that one if you want. Um, so right now, I mean, we're really just taking care of all these inside plants right now, and we're going to be taking them outside here very soon. And we're going to be planting a lot more things directly outside because fingers crossed, we may have had our last frost. I don't know. We'll see. Um, but we are going to be starting a lot of things, especially. So we actually just ordered a whole bunch of zinnias and got a bunch of those because that's probably one of our favorite things to grow over the summer is just having a whole bunch of zinnias because they grow so well here in the heat of the summer when everything else seems to be struggling. The zinnias always are just flourishing and doing beautiful things. So it's really nice to just always have something that's actually doing really good out in the garden. And it's been pretty great. But yeah, we're going to be growing a whole lot more flowers hopefully this year. As you may notice, I have been adding a lot of flowers into the app. I know a lot of you guys have requested for more flowers and things like that to be in the app. So I've been working fast and furious to get as many in there as I possibly can. Um, and I'm going to be trying my hand at growing a lot of them myself too. So hopefully that goes really well. And yeah, okay. Oh, squirrels. I'm sorry, Norman. Yeah, squirrels are definitely something to combat. One thing that we do that's pretty fun for things like this is the motion activated sprinklers. We actually have we actually have one set up in our garden right now because we have them, well, because whenever we let out our goats, they are not super respectful of our fence that we have around our garden. Sometimes they are, but not always. So we ended up putting a motion activated sprinkler over there next to the fence line. So every time they walk by, it just starts erratically spraying everywhere, and it scares them off. It terrifies them. But that works really well for obviously for goats, but it works really well for things like deer too because it's pretty erratic spraying. But also ground pests, things like squirrels and things like that too. Um, you could also try. So one thing I do is I have a bird feeder that's not too far away from the garden, but I love my birds. And it's one of those that records. And I think it's funny because the squirrels are always going in there and stealing the seeds, but at least they are stealing the seeds and they're not going into my garden and stealing it. So I'm like, at least they're staying away. So it's like I'm distracting them enough. So okay, hi. I love zinnias, but I always get powdery mildew. Yeah, so zinnias, that is one of the things that can be frustrating about zinnias. Really, the only issue I have ever really had happen for me with zinnias, and it typically happens like at the end of the season. Um, Generally, I don't struggle with it before the end of the season, so I'm always like, it's about done anyways. But one thing that you really do want to try to do is try to do any sort of like drip irrigation or just water from below instead of up above, if at all possible. I know sometimes you get rain and you can't help that, but um, if you have to do overhead watering, try doing it first thing in the morning instead of in the evening to give it some time to dry during the day. Um, I mean, really, those are probably the best tips that I can give you for powdery mildew with zinnias. Hi, Donna. Welcome. I'm so glad that you all are joining us today. Okay. Hi. Yeah, it's yeah, I love this. My dog used to love to chase squirrels. Yeah, you see, or the cats maybe even too. I mean, we were talking about cats not being a pest earlier, so oh, I like this too. Rain. What's that? Well, we actually got a whole bunch of rain here this last week. Like it was just, yeah, soaked the garden, and it was very, very abnormal. But yes, I feel you there for sure. Yeah, so tonight we're gonna be up at the Myriad Gardens in Oklahoma City. So if anybody is local, come visit and say hi. But we're gonna be up there and talking all about pest management also. So squirrels as well, which sounds like you guys are all dealing with squirrels, will be on the list. And then we'll be talking all about all sorts of different pests and pest management and all of that. So if you guys are local, come visit us. Okay, I planted my pepper bed and had two surprise potatoes plants pop up. Should I move them or let the peppers be? Well, so the peppers and potatoes don't generally do well together. So if at all possible, I would try to move them. It can be very challenging to move potatoes. So you might want to try to just move peppers if you have another place for peppers. Maybe try doing that instead of having to go through and dig up all the potatoes. I've definitely had a lot of surprise potatoes in the past for sure. Um, but I always try to grow my potatoes in large smart pots. So I have like these real large, like 15 to 20 gallon sized fabric containers that just work perfect for smart pots. So that way, if I miss like one or two in there, they might pop up again next season, but it's only in that one little smart pot. I don't have to worry about it being in my whole bed. And it just makes harvesting so much simpler too, because I just take it and I literally just dump it out into a wheelbarrow or end a whole pile and just let the kids all go through and find any sort of potatoes that they can. It just makes it a lot more fun and organized too. Hi, welcome, welcome. Hi, Sue. Good to see you. Hi, Fred. I'm glad that you all are here today joining in. If you guys have any gardening questions or app questions or anything like that, feel free to pop them into the chat right now, and I can do my best to answer everything that you guys might have any questions about. And I do have, here, I'll show you real quick. I do have the app pulled up on my computer, so I can show it right here. This is actually just pulled up on it's so if you weren't familiar before, we have our app actually on the yep right there. It's on app.seedtospoon.net. So if you have a computer, desktop, anything like that, you can go through and just type in this website and you can actually log into your account on there. So you can see any of your, everything of yours. So like for me, I can come in here, I see all of my garden beds. Here, I'll show you all the ones. I have a whole bunch of them going on here. So these ones, I have all of my beds labeled outside, like 1 through 10. So I have those all in here. And then I have all of my indoor seed starting right here too. So I have like my biodomes, my bootstrap, all of my bootstrap trays back here. I mean, I've definitely gone through and done a lot of logging all of my plants and everything, and it's been so much easier for me. And I got a really great question from somebody too the other day saying that they were struggling with keeping up with their planting and logging everything, and I was like, this is actually the first year that I haven't been, because I feel like it takes so much time before going through and writing labels, because I would go through and write labels for everyone, and that was so time consuming. So now I have written maybe like there's like a label right there, because I have like a couple random smart pots here and there that I'm going to be moving them around, but I am going to like I don't have to make a bunch of labels. So it all of that time that I was dedicating before to making labels, I can literally just go in and I just tap a button saying, I planted right here for this plant, and it's a lot faster, so it's saving me time. I don't have to write a bunch of labels and worry if the label's going to wash off or not, because guess what? I wrote all of these out too for these smart pots, and half of them already washed off. I was like, really? Oh my gosh. So, yes, for sure. I mean, it just keeping track of your plants in the app just makes it so much easier for me. I mean, it's just saved me so much time. So much time. Let's see. I see that we have a bunch of questions here, so let me pop some up. I'm late with my planting. Do I still need to start plants indoors or per the instructions? I'm in Virginia. So I mean, it really probably depends what it is that you are growing to. If it's something that's going to be a little bit more finicky, you may want to start it inside just so you can keep a better eye on it, water it a little bit more. Um, but otherwise, I mean, if the weather is great for you to be planting outside, go for it. You know, that's how I say, at least. Inside, I primarily get the things started inside that I'm wanting to get a head start on growing for. So like my brassicas generally, because our springtime, it gets hot super fast here. So it'll be like really cold and then it'll get really hot real soon. So I try to get a head start on a lot of those that are longer growing. So that way I don't have to wait on them, and then they're going to go to seed before I even get a harvest from them otherwise. So certain things like that, I get started inside, but I do direct sow a lot of things. Oh, this is a great question. So, after you dump the potato smart pot, do you put the soil in a different place for crop rotation purposes? So, it kind of just depends. I mean, usually I'm just putting it right back in there, but I won't necessarily grow potatoes in it immediately again. Like I'll grow something else different in there. Sometimes I'll do some beans. That'll definitely help to replenish the soil, but I definitely won't use that same soil immediately, like turn around and grow more potatoes again. I do try to rotate what I grow in soil. So if I do want to immediately turn around and grow potatoes, I will reuse like different soil, or like add a bunch of different like compost into it, things like that. Okay. Is it too late to start lemongrass and lemon balm indoors, or would it just be better to sow them both outside? Ooh, you know what? That's going to be something that I would have to check in the app for. I don't know the exact dates for both of those off the top of my head, but I do know an app that shows exact planting dates. So absolutely, just pull up the Seed to Spoon app and go into lemongrass or lemon balm and see when it says to plant them. And if you're in the outside time frame, you can probably just go ahead and direct seed them outside, as long as you can stay on top of like watering them and making sure that they germinate and all of that. Okay. Yeah, we got some. Yep, I reuse my soil from the potatoes. Yeah, for sure. I definitely do not ever like get rid of soil because I mean, soil is expensive. So every year I'm just boosting it with like new compost and things like that, or just doing cover crops also during the winter time can really help to boost your soil too. Because I try to forget. I try to do a bunch of like peas and things like that really try to boost the soil a little bit too. It's terrific and super helpful. Okay. I like this. Knowing me, I would forget to move the plant's location in the app. I completely understand. But you know what? It actually makes it super simple because actually as I am going out and here, I'll show you real quick. So up here, so these like all of these peppers that I have right here. So these ones right here, all I need to do if I want to go transplant them out into the garden, all I have to do is just plant this move and then move plant to another garden. And then I can transplant it over to any other garden that I have created right here. So that like I can do that real time when I'm out in the garden and it just makes it so much simpler for me too. And I like you don't have to worry about like just do it at the time that you're transplanting so then you don't forget because it's so easy to do in the app just to transplant it. It's easier to move it in the app than to actually transplant. So hopefully that'll make that a little bit easier for you. Okay. Yes, for sure. I would totally recommend trying cover crops this year. I mean, it's definitely, I mean, it makes it a lot simpler too, so you don't have to like fold up if you have like smart pot like because it sounds like you have grow bags too. So any sort of pots or anything like that, you don't have to go through and empty them out and all of that. You can just grow cover crops, improve your soil over the break. Like you're good. You're good to go. Okay. Yes. So I feel this so much because that is for sure the 100% reason I am so happy that I don't have to make labels this year because between the sun and watering, it never fails that they rub off. So that's why like I literally like out in the garden right now, I don't have any labels out in my garden beds. It's all just managed here on our app and I have each of my beds labeled 1 through 10 because I have 10 4x8 raised beds. So I have them labeled 1 through 10. I know which one's which and I can just pull up the app and if I ever have a question about what plant this is and I just do it from there. So that is my big advice for you. Um, there is a marker. It's called a garden marker. Um, we have it in the app, and Park Seed carries it in their store. A garden marker. So I recommend getting that if you have like one-off things that you want to write labels for, because we've had really good luck with those in the past as well. Okay. Yeah, I feel this. Had a spiral bound notebook. Yeah, that's absolutely what we used to do also in the past. And then if you we would actually have like books out in the garden and all of that too whenever we were first learning. And we're like, there really needs to be an app for that. So that is one of the reasons why we made the app. And yeah, I mean, it helps helps on so many fronts. I don't have to drag out any books or anything like that. I always have my phone on me, so I always have a whole bunch of garden knowledge right there with me too. Okay, Donna has her bare root strawberries. Oh, that's exciting for you. I am in love with strawberries. I mean, I'm sure all of you know that. I have a bunch of strawberries here inside with me. Um, yeah, I definitely think like that was a good call to keep them in the refrigerator. So I would take them out and pop them into some water, pop the roots in some water for a few hours, and then plant them out. I think that'll be great for you. I'm excited for you, and within a couple weeks, you should notice that they'll look just great, they'll look like great transplants for you within no time. I mean, really, I kid you not. I got bare roots and I planted them out, and literally within a couple weeks they were just like flourishing. So you'll be surprised at how fast it goes. Okay. See, a friend uses plastic knives with a Sharpie and then sticks to writing. Oh, well, that's interesting. I have not had great luck with that, but maybe the dirt thing is the difference that I had been skipping before. Oh, great question. So my husband and I started gardening back in 2015. And yep, this is our backyard garden right here. Well, obviously there was no garden right here, but this is what our backyard looked like back in 2015. And then over the matter of a couple of years, we turned it all into gardens pretty much. And we had like, I mean, everything you can think of. We were even collecting water right there in the background. You can see that too for watering. And yeah, we quickly got obsessed, as you can see, and we yeah, it's been a fun adventure growing so much, but yeah, that's our story. So we started back then, and whenever we were first learning, I mean, turning our entire backyard into garden, we had a lot of questions, obviously, because it's definitely a huge learning curve. Neither one of us had really grown much of anything or done much of anything besides like for me, I had bought like some flower transplants before from the store and put them in the front yard, but that was literally about all that I had experience with. So it was quite the learning curve, but we learned a lot along the way from YouTube channels, books, master gardening classes, like so many great things that we collected along the way and tried to put it all into an app for you so, that I use all the time too. So it's super helpful. Okay, awesome. Well, I am out here. I'm probably going to be getting getting planting here. But if anybody has any other questions, I'll stick around for a few more minutes and hang out. But I'm gonna get some more. We just ordered a bunch of more petunias because I wanted to fill up like all of my hanging baskets that I have with a bunch of petunias. And let me see if I can show you guys here real quick. So I have the like. This is just something that we rigged up. It is so fun. This right here is, I mean, it's really just like a rope with like a little metal pipe. But we go through whenever we have our hanging baskets and we'll just hang them right there on that. And it works perfect. We have a grow light right up there also. So it gets hit with some lights and it's super fun. And I don't have nearly enough petunias. I never do. I never will. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing is planting a whole bunch of petunias for sure. Yeah, absolutely. It is for sure something that is like it's something that we love to do and we want to make sure that we share it and make it as easy as possible for everybody else. Oh, good call, Sue. Yep, I need to show that. So before so whenever we first started gardening, and before I started working full time on Seed to Spoon, I was a nurse. So the health benefits section of the app is something that is like near and dear to me. I absolutely love it. So back here on the main page, you will notice this grow for health section right here. So this is something like for us, this is why we started gardening in the first place, was to help manage anxiety and depression and just mental health in general. And everything that we learned like along the way just for sure like helped. Everything pointed to gardening. But we wanted to make it easier and call it out for other people who may be wanting to grow for different health reasons as well. So if you come in here, if you tap one of these, it'll take you to the main growing guide section and it'll pull up all of these plants right here that are flagged as being specifically good for helping with mental health. Or you can, yeah, if you are here on the growing guides, you can go to filters and you can search them right here too. So any that might help with brain and memory, which is something that I need all the time because I'm always forgetting things. Um, so yeah, it'll pull up and give you a great list of different plants that you can grow for different health issues. So that's definitely something. Thank you, Sue, for calling that out. That's definitely something that I always forget to do too. Hi, Mo. So Mo says, "What do you recommend for landscaping a north-facing front yard in Zone 6?" Um, I mean, so you could try things like, I mean, coleus is always my go-to. So coleus, hostas, impatiens are really nice too. We also have a bunch of like giant elephant ears too in our front that I mean they tolerate shade great. So and we have like different sizes of them too. So we have like some huge ones and some smaller ones, and so those ones are great. I mean, there's a lot of really good ones, and this is a good option too. So whenever you're in the app, here, let me go back. You can go down to this grow bot right here, and you can ask it any sort of questions right here. What to plant in north facing front yard for landscaping. So it'll give you some, oh, look at that. Some of the same things that I recommended. But yeah, it'll give you a really great list too. So this is always my go-to. Also, I go in here, and even if you're not on premium, you can still get three free questions a day. So you can still pop in here and ask it any questions. If you are on premium, though, you do get to send pictures. So this is super helpful for me for like plant identification, pest identification, or also like if I have a plant that's struggling, I can send a picture of it also to Growbot and it'll give me tips on like how to help and all of that. So that's definitely super helpful for me. So I do that all the time. Oh, I see we have some fellow nurses too in here. Says that Mo, hey, great. I'm glad that you're a nurse too. Oh, we have more too. Certifies. Yep. I definitely think that I feel like the gardening world is heavy in healthcare too, because we realize that you need to be doing healthy things, like getting out. Yeah, yeah. So Dale just popped in. He's like, and IT. Yep. He worked always in IT and obviously like he's the tech guy that um worked with a few friends to build this amazing app and then I helped with entering in the information in the background, but they are the real brains behind it. So yeah, let's see. I have a few. Oh, yes. I loved Dale's Chaos Garden short. Yes, absolutely. That is Dale's favorite way to plant, and I kid you not. Like he literally will go out there and he's like, "I'm gonna plant some cilantro." He will literally just start tossing because it's so easy to do, and it's very like it like makes you feel good whenever it pops up, and you get a lot of green, and yeah. Chaos gardening's so much fun. Okay. Okay, so Alice was asking how to add more than one item to Square on the app. So I will say right now, we only have the ability to do one thing per app or per square foot. But I will say if you like go in here, you can, because there's been times that I've done, um, I have gone through and planted like two different varieties of lettuce in the same area. So whenever I am logging it, I will, instead of just selecting the one variety, like I will put two different varieties right there. You can also do that, or you can just create a note right here for something that you did. Um, yeah, there's a few different ways to get around that, but as of right now, it's only going to show you a picture of like the pepper or of the lettuce that you have like right in there. Yep, Donna said you can save the answers to notes to that specific garden. Yes, absolutely. That is a great call out. Thank you, Donna. Yeah, because I will do that too. So if I'm like taking a picture of a specific plant or garden or something like that, there is a section of there. Here, if um, I can go back. So if I want to save this somewhere, I can. Oops, it was moving on me. If I want to save this, I can just tap this and I can do create a garden plant note or a garden bed note. So I can just add it to any sort of plant or any plant here that I want to add it to. So yes, that is super, super helpful. You can always come across it later on if you have, if you wanted to recall what you said at that time, or what advice was given to you at that time and come back to it later on. Super helpful. Yeah. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate you pointing that out. Okay. Oh, so whenever you change the size of a bed right now, here, let me go back into it. So, yeah, I don't want to do this right now, but it will take all of your plants that you have right here and it will move it over to this list view. Because whenever you add sizes or things like that, like whenever it's changing the grid size, there's no like, I mean, we don't know where your plants are on the grid whenever it gets resized. So it just gets reset to, oh, all of them over here. So the plants like didn't disappear. They're still there. They're just under this list view. So whenever you go back over here, you can tap the plus button and it'll give you these options to put back into it so that way you can kind of show where it is in that new one. Yay, well great. I'm glad it's working well. Okay, yeah, if you guys have any other questions, just let me know. I mean, I can show you my, I have a whole bunch of gardens um here and we're doing all sorts of experiments and yeah, trying out a bunch of new things. So this is it's really fun. I am loving keeping track and having like all of my plants right here, and it's been super helpful. Oh, I did have a question from somebody actually. It was on the last week's YouTube or Tuesday's YouTube, but she was asking about she was saying how she wished she could just find where she planted something because she knew that she planted it, but she couldn't remember where. And I was going to show you have this right up here, search plants, products, and more. And if you just type in a plant that you have, it'll pull up all the plants in your garden beds and it'll show like where they're planted to, like which garden bed, and as well as you can go to the plant listing itself if you just want to read about it and or learn about it, see companion plants, things like that. But this right here, if you just type in marigold, like it'll show you where you have all of those planted. um so oh, if I spelled tomato right, it would do the same for tomato. Yep. So it shows like yep, I have this one on my windowsill right here. I have a garden bed just for my windowsill that I keep track of. And yeah, so this is super helpful for me too because as you can see, I have a lot of things growing and being able to just easily search. I don't have to go in and have to try to remember which which ones I see and yeah, all of that. Okay. Sorry, I'm popping in and seeing if we have any other questions. Okay. Well, cool. Well, if you guys do have any questions like after the fact, please feel free to pop in into the chat. On typically, I think YouTube this will save and it'll post for later. So if you guys do have any other questions, just pop them into the chat and then I can answer them later. Or you can come join us again on Tuesday. I do this. I do a live stream every Tuesday at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time, where we're generally talking about a topic. Um, and yeah, diving deep into something gardening, but you can always feel free to bring any of your gardening questions then too, because it's always super informal. We're always just sitting here hanging out, chatting and talking and all of that. So yeah. Well, thank you all so much for joining. This was super fun. And hopefully I will see you again very soon and see you all on next Tuesday. Bye, everybody. Oh, sorry. Dale popped up another question. Is there a way to turn bad companion plant warnings on and off? Um, no, there is not. It's always going to be set to on, but that's a good tip. I'll pass that along and see if maybe that's something that maybe if you don't want to see it in the visual garden layout, maybe we can figure out a way to turn that off. Um, but I will yeah. So Dale saying, yeah, we can look at doing something like that. And he wanted to make sure that you are in beta, and he is, yes. But if there is any of you also out there that does want to be part of our testing group, so you get like you get the early previews for updates and fixes and things like that. Just feel free to email us at info@seedtospoon.net and or message me on any social also, and I can get you in and all of that. So yes. Okay. Oh, so he says that his is not showing the warning. So I bet so we don't have the warnings showing on the seed starting areas. So if you have a seed starting area that you have like bad companions planted next to each other, it doesn't really matter at that stage. So we don't have bad companion warnings there. We'll only have it in the garden bed section. So um, I I bet you will see it if you switched over to like a garden bed instead of a seed starting area. So yeah. So one more question real quick, and then let's see. Is the outdoor lighting in the greenhouse enough for seedlings, or should I use lights? So it probably going to be enough for you. I mean, you can always just test it out. And if you notice them looking that they're struggling, you can always add like an LED shop light or something along those lines. But generally, the greenhouse, like if you had, I mean, if it's fully out in the open, it gets plenty of sun. It should generally be good enough for seedling termination as well. Okay. Well, great. Well, thank you all so much for joining, and I hope to see you all on Tuesday and 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. We'll go hang out again there too on our YouTube channel and Facebook. So I will see you all there.